I've been able to lose weight and get under 15% body fat and stay under 15% body fat as someone who used to always binge eat and go off my diet and have these cheat meals or cheat days that would ruin a whole week's of progress when it comes to my diet and losing weight. And so if you're someone who struggles with binge eating and cheat days, then this is the video on exactly how to recover from cheat days and how to structure your lifestyle and diet to reduce the amount of cheat days that you have overall. And so just watch until the end of this video. And so honestly, the biggest tip that I have for recovering from cheat days is to not try to make up for it. Don't try to make up for it by decreasing your next few days' calories to like 200 calories. I used to do that. I used to have like 5,000 calorie cheat days or 4,000 calories. And I'm like, huh, so I basically, let's say my diet was at 2,000 calories, right, to lose weight. And so let's say my maintenance is 3,000, just to make the math easy. And I was going on 2,000 to get like a 1,000 calorie deficit, which is a bit steep. And I wouldn't recommend it for most people unless you know how to like structure high volume meals and you've been doing aggressive cuts before. But yeah, let's just say I'm doing 2,000 calories and my maintenance is 3,000. And for one of the days I have a cheat meal that's like 5,000 calories. And so I ate 3,000 more than what I was supposed to. And so the math I would do is that, let me decrease 3,000 from the next 2 days. And so instead of eating 2,000 the next 2 days, I would only eat 500 calories the next 2 days, right? To try to balance for it. But that would always just leave me just so hungry and fatigued and even more prone to going on a cheat meal again, right? And so that's exactly what we don't want to do. The biggest progress I've made to recover from cheat meals is to just go back to the diet that I was on. So if I had 5,000 calories, the next few days I would just go back on 2,000 calories. And because overall I'm on a deficit for the whole week. And so you're just gonna like make up for those calories anyways, even though it might take longer than if you just didn't eat anything the next day. But honestly, that's the biggest tip when it comes to recovering from cheat meals. And I think most people know this already. It's just hard to convince yourself mentally that you'll be fine, right? Because you just want to see quick results. Let's say you gained 5 pounds of water weight, even more. I've had cheat meals where I've gained 15 pounds in one day of like obviously food content in your gut, water weight. And so it's very deceiving. You might think that's all fat, but like if you do the math, calories in, calories out, you've gained maybe at most 1 pound of fat, right? But if you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to make up for it in a week. Sure, you might want to make up for it the next day, right? And you could, like if you just go on 0 carbs, 0 sodium, 20K steps, right? You go sauna, sweat it all out. You might lose like 60% of it in one day, but you're going to feel like crap. And when you feel like crap, you're going to get more hungry, you're going to be more fatigued, and you're more prone to just eating more food anyways. And so I'd rather be in a constant, stable mood so that I can do the cut. Not long term. Obviously, you don't want to be cutting long term unless you've got 200 pounds to lose. But let's say you've got 20 pounds to lose. Like, you don't want to do it for a whole year. You ideally want to do it as fast as possible while also balancing out your mood. Because technically, if you just eat 0 calories, you lose it as fast as possible. But that's not sustainable. You want to make a diet that's sustainable in the short term, right? For most people, you don't want to go into a weight loss diet with a mindset you're going to do it long term. So you don't want to go on like a 50 calorie daily deficit because it's going to take way too long. But you might want to consider like 500 calories, right? Nothing more than 1,000 unless you're really confident you can do it and you've done it before. But it's honestly the biggest thing. Like, it's generally changed the way that my mood has been and my overall attitude towards weight loss. Because I'll treat the extra calories as like fuel, right? Before I used to like think of those calories as like negative, like bad, or like these, oh, like freaking I hate those extra calories in my body. But now let's say if I have a cheat meal, let's say I'm supposed to eat 2,000 and I eat 4,000 in one day, I'm like, alright, cool. You know what? It's already in my. I'm not gonna freaking use laxatives. I'm not gonna try to like poop it out. I'm not trying to try to throw up like some people might. That's just a freaking eating disorder. You have a psychological disorder. But I'm like, all right, cool. I have 2,000 extra calories, maybe 200 grams of carbs that are extra. You know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna try to hit a PR. Let's say I'm hitting bench press tomorrow. All right, tomorrow's my bench press PR. I'm gonna use all those 200 grams of carbs into my workout. I'm gonna have a great workout tomorrow. And when I have that mindset, it's like, all right, cool. The next day I will actually have a great workout. I'll be sweating a lot more because I'm holding so much water. I'll feel so much stronger. Like the bar will just move so much easier. Because, you know, when you're losing weight, you just feel fatigued all the time. And if you're not progressing in your weight, sometimes you might even be going down in weights to a certain extent. And so just having that mindset makes you enjoy the extra carbs. At least like tomorrow, I'll have more energy out. Like you'll feel like you're more awake, you're more alert because you actually you've eaten more than your maintenance. So your body has like used enough calories to maintain your bodily functions and has a few extra to put it towards energy, right? And so it's cool. Think about it as like it's just more energy for the gym in my overall day. I'll have a better pump. My muscles will look more full. You look nice. Like when you take crazy carbs, even though you look a bit more bloated, right? But your muscles will also look fuller. So that's just the mindset that I like to have. Not always had that. It's only been a recent thing where I've changed my mindset about cheat days. I'm not saying that you should want to have cheat days, but even now, like I'll purposely have like carb refeed days. Where even though I'm not going over my maintenance, I'm still in a deficit. I'll still add a few more calories and I'll put a bunch of carbs so that when I go into the next week of my weight loss, I've replenished my glycogen to a certain extent so that my workouts stay somewhat intense, right? Because if you're going to be eating like 50 grams of carbs or 100 grams of carbs every day for like months and months, like you're just not even going to enjoy the gym to a certain extent anymore. And so just have a positive outlook on calories. Calories are not a bad thing. Just eat healthy, and as long as you're in a calorie deficit for the entire week, look at it as a week basis, not a daily basis, then you'll be fine. You're going to lose the weight even if the scale doesn't show it. If you have a cheat meal, it's going to seem like you gained 10 pounds of fat, even though you're still losing weight overall in the week. And so it's mostly just convincing yourself psychologically, because we already know this, like when it comes to just doing the math, but just convincing yourself, even though, regardless of the scale weight, regardless of the mirror image that you see of your body, right? Because you look bloated, you look freaking heavy, whatever, right? But just stick with it for 2 weeks and all the bloating will go away. You'll probably be even lower than before your cheat meal. You'll be fine. You already know this. It's just more of a reminder. But also you need a psychological shift, and you need to really convince yourself, even when it doesn't look like, even when it doesn't look like it's working, you need to convince yourself that it works. Just stick with it for a few more days, a week, 2 weeks, guaranteed. Then you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm happy that I stuck with it. Because if you didn't stick with that mindset, then you would have had 3 more cheat meals, 3 more cheat days. Because you're like, oh, if I already screwed it up, might as well just screw up the whole thing. I don't even want to lose weight anymore, right? That's what most people do. And then they just gain all the weight back and even more. And so you already know this, is just a reminder. And if you want to learn more on how to actually lose weight while still eating healthy, then just click on the first link in the description. It's my course, and I'll see you there.